What's up, everybody? This is Ms.Bull.
I go by Hush Forte.
Hey man, what's up? It's your boy Just John.
Hey, I'm Savannah Christina.
Hey, this is Storm the Poet.
Hey, it's Serge. You're listening to Ballpoint.
Ballpoint
with
Bluapple Poetry Podcast.
Bluapple Poetry Network. Bam.
This is the first episode
Okay, first episode.
of the second season. I gotta make it dramatic.
Okay, second season.
Of the second season of Ballpoint with Bluapple Poetry Podcast. Wow, I said that fast. That was okay. So I got Ms.Bull here, and Ms.Bull is gonna tell us all about herself. But before I get her to introduce herself, I just want to make sure I got my facts right. So Ms.Bull is from Indiana.
Correct. Pacers.
Indiana. Okay.
Colts, Fever.
Not a Pacers fan. Miami Heat around here. Okay.
That's all right.
We're actually rivals, which is crazy. So that's dope.
Is that a rivalry?
It is.
Oh.
Actually, we don't like the Pacers. Yeah. But you know, it's all love here.
Something like that.
So Ms.Bull is from Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Graduated in 2017 with her bachelor's.
Yes, sir.
So she is a scholar.
Yep. Hoosier. Indiana basketball.
Okay. See, all right, we cool. We here.
Right.
All right, you done gained up some points for that one. And she became an educator here in Miami, Florida. Correct. At Miami Northwestern.
Yes.
See, I'm here. You know,
You got
I
the
do
facts.
my research.
A little something behind
So now she is a teaching artist for the Jason Taylor Foundation and the Bluapple Poetry Network.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually moved from after school. I went to Minnesota and had a job there for a year, and then I came down here working for the county. The culture is completely different, slang completely different. Y'all got all these little dances we don't know nothing about, music we don't know anything about, but it's interesting. It's beautiful. Cultures everywhere have different stuff, you know. Y'all got ride the stick, ride the skate. We don't have that. Nobody says jits in Indiana.
What's some of the words that they say in Indiana that we don't say down here?
Boy, put me on the spot. I can't think of anything right now, but it's just interesting. I always tell the kids, like, y'all could teach me some vocabulary words today, and I'm going to teach you some vocabulary words today, and everybody has something to teach, so.
Awesome.
But I definitely met some amazing artists that are made in Dade and that are proud of that. Cool people. I saw him perform. He's super proud of where he's from, Liberty City, Pork and Beans, projects, all that stuff. So I think that's beautiful. People rock where they're from, and it's been cool to see that Broward County pride, that Made in Dade pride, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, it's gonna wear on your sleeve soon. You feel me? The more you in the atmosphere, it just gravitates. You know.
I mean, they tell me I'm a Florida girl. I'm not, but they be telling me I am now that I'm here. So.
Yeah, I see it. So now that you're working, you know, you're serving as a teaching artist. What do you hope to gain or expect to gain from like working with kids? Like, is that like a passion of yours to just be around kids and work with the youth?
Definitely. I mean, the youth they're the world and the next generation, and they're our heart, and they keep us honest, and they keep us lightweight, they keep us fun. So with kids, I just want to give all these high schoolers, all these young people, the confidence to speak up and the ability to critically think and to ask questions and to speak up for what's wrong and speak up for what's right around them. So looking forward to that.
In every classroom, maybe a couple students or a student that may stand out amongst the bunch, whether that be super intellectual, highly educated, awesome, sits in the front of the class, pays attention student. And you may have a student that may sit in the back, like me, because I know I was that kid in high school.
Doesn't do what society wants them to do, or what the rule book wants them to do. I mean, I think it's recognizing that everybody has different intelligences. So, you know, a fish has different strengths than a kangaroo, than an elephant, but every part can do different things, and that's beautiful in its own way. So understanding that, and then understanding that this is a broken education system that wants students to fit into a mold that is not necessarily always right, and just bringing that out of the students, and I don't know, positively interacting with them, making it the classroom like a home and not like a jail, and like a comforting space and not like a space of all seriousness all the time. So working with that, I would say.
For sure. Yeah, I wanna touch on what you said, but I'm afraid it's gonna open up another can of worms. But you said like the education system is like a jail.
Absolutely.
Why do you feel, and especially coming from an educator, right? Why do you feel that's the case? Like, what could be modified to be better or better suited for the kids?
Oh, Lord Jesus, you're gonna open up the whole can of worms on this one.
You don't have to answer if you.
No, it's all good. I mean, one thing I do encourage students to always learn and to look at is look at the history of our country, look at the history of education in our country. Let's see, African American students in this, well, brown students in this country in general, it was illegal for them to read and write when they were brought here. You know what I'm saying? School was not an option. And so we go from slavery to segregation to the war on drugs to mass incarceration to what we have now. Still, our public school system is inadequately funded on purpose. So lower income areas, the schools there are funded by the property taxes in that area. So if you're in a poor area, you're going to have a poor school, which is going to give you a poor job. So just looking at these systems and how they're made, and understanding that, how it works. School bells are a lot of times like how they work in prisons. These schools that have no windows, that have no colored printer, that have no money for field trips, that have no money for anything. Systems like, oh no, you're from here, right? So what was it with like in-school suspension? What was that like for you?
It was basically like that chance for kids like me who was a class clown to get out of class and go to another class and do nothing.
Literally nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, were you on your phone or anything?
Pretty much the teacher was just there, you know, on their phone.
Exactly.
It was the bad kids that united with the bad kids.
100%. So isolating students already from a community from which they already felt isolated.
Wow.
In another way. So, I mean, school to prison pipeline is real. You can look it up, Google it yourself. But just know there's a lot of things that they're not teaching you that you need to teach yourself.
So what do you do in a classroom to unify the students together, or to, you know, to have them feel empowered or to feel heard? You know, what are some of the strategies you use?
I did this cool, I had seen it somewhere. It's like a cross the line challenge where just like you name some basic things that everybody has gone through. Say, for example, I don't know, your sibling went off to college, or you have someone in your family that's incarcerated, or you had a baby brother born. Like, it can be deep things or it can be traumatizing things, but just understanding that no matter if you're the quote-unquote nerd, if you're the quote-unquote jock, if you're the quote-unquote quiet kid, y'all have all experienced very similar things in life. Going through that was cool, I would say.
Yeah, is that the same like concept or the same icebreaker, if you will, from the movie like The Freedom Riders?
Yeah, it is something similar like that.
She made them like cross the line if this happened to you before, and then they look around and all of them.
Because I think at high school it's like a lot about drawing lines, you know what I'm saying, especially in this age. But it's all about cliques and stuff like that, and just elevating your mind above that. And as a high schooler, you'll be like so many levels above a lot of things. It'll be good for your mental health to kind of realize that.
Wow, drawing lines, that's fire. So you're also a writer, right? Like, you also are a part-time artist, part-time. You tell your own story through your writing. So how do you draw the line, if you will, from the mental, I guess, I wouldn't say drain, but how do you solidify like the work that you're putting in with the community and these kids, and then still have the energy to then push your talents and your creativity? Or does that help fuel, you know, some of your artistry and what you write about?
Good question. When I was an educator, it was very tough because if you're working 70 hours a week, you really just have time to eat, sleep, and do your laundry after that, after work. But those experiences, the experiences of passion, of anxiety, of panic attacks, of tears, of love, of joy, any type of feeling can be translated into writing. So that's been a cool thing. And then the other thing with me, and I'm still working with dealing with this, I feel like I've always been a jack of all trades, master of none. And that sometimes I've been jealous of people who it's like, okay, they're a singer or they're a drawer. And it's like they have that one thing that they can really cultivate.
I feel that.
But for me, growing up, realizing that, okay, I have a multiplicity of things about me and that is a gift. I can't keep looking at it as a fault. So writing for me, I don't feel like I'm one type of writer. Like I feel like I could think of a topic and I could either write a personal essay about it, I could write a poem about it, I could tweet about it, I could make a little like short film about it, I could make a comedy stand-up thing about it, and knowing that some people are built like that and looking at that as a gift.
Multifaceted. That's fire that you say that, because I think of that all the time too with myself. It's like I just sometimes wish I had that one thing I could just throw all my eggs in that one basket and just pursue that wholeheartedly, right? And it's not to say that I don't with other crafts, but I think I'm spread so thin because I try to do so much.
Exactly.
So it's finding like the balance of like, or even priority of like what I think is most important for myself versus like the other things. So that's fire that you say that. Can you tell us maybe a story or an inspirational moment that you had with a student or a teacher or somebody in the community or a family member where like writing or some of the words that you put on the paper really impacted maybe yourself or that person, or that you felt like, wow, this is why I write, or this is why I am able to express myself through words?
Well, I'll put two little things into that. So the poem that has always inspired my writing from the moment that I ever heard it is Count on It by Miles Hodges. And could I just do a little, like, the first part of it?
For sure.
So this is the first part of the poem. I carry this poem almost like in my imaginary locket, like on my body wherever I go. Stay strapped with Count on It by Miles Hodges.
Come on.
Every day above ground is a good day. For me, faith be no easy task. For me, believing in things often feels like a game of darts. For when I do indeed believe in something, someone usually takes that thing and nooses it to the hip of a train I'll never be able to catch. No matter how fast I run, always arrive at the platform an inch too late, stuck there checking my watch like, how did I not make it? Like, I prayed and everything, and I watch as my faith fades like an outro away, blurring like gray towards the horizon. I so badly just want things I know I can count on. Okay, so that's the first like little stanza of that poem. That'll stay with me forever. And then another really good moment was working with my 9th grade students. We had to read the I Have a Dream as part of the Florida Standards curriculum for the 9th graders. And it was a tough read, but after we got through it, I had each student write their own individual I Have a Dream speech. And one in particular student who, like you said, isn't, going with the grain, isn't always, quote unquote, doing what the system wants him to operate as, what, quote unquote, a good student looks like. He wrote a really incredible piece and showcased writing metaphors, which is not an easy standard to master. So that was a beautiful moment, seeing him flourish like that.
That's dope. I really appreciate like bringing me to that moment of like what inspired you to write. So with that being said, do you have any poem you might want to share with us or something you might want to read with us?
Sure. This is called Purple Curls. Clarice Boulevard. Sipping tricks and things. It's the dips in your hips, girl. Inhale, cells swell. Womanly intuition comes to fruition. Can you feel your divine inner being? It sits in the palm of your hand, just waiting to be noticed. Never-ending feminine queen. Let me lift you up, wallowing in your womanness, bathing in your benevolence, optically alluding to your omniscience. Lift your chin 8 millimeters higher, see how that feels. Crown to the sky, revel in your reign, hold tight to the throne your ancestors tenaciously fought to attain. Yes, good love may bring you pain, but it would not, will not, could not, cannot do anything but amplify your light, for it is not love if it does not set you free. Shakes the shackles, lets you be, lifts you up, 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 fills you to eternity. Soulfully full at last. The levee breaks. And I'm going to cut it off there. That's a little snippet.
Oh, she going to leave you with the cliffhanger.
Don't hype me up.
That's fire. This is Ms.Bull, y'all.
Right
so,
on.
Do you have anywhere we could follow you? We could check you out. Would you like to? Nada.
I'm all right. Just know that Ms.Bull, if you need me, I can put my email on here. We keep it professional out here, all right? All right.
For
Social
sure.
media is not everything. I'll let y'all know that right now.
Awesome. All right. That was Purple Curls, y'all. That was awesome. You so fire. So I got Ms.Bull, y'all. Y'all give a hand, shout her out. Check out some of her poetry. If you ever see her on the streets, be like, yo, what's up, Ms.Bull? I'm sure she'll keep running from you. Because that's crazy.
We'll keep it going. No.
Yo, man. So any advice or anything you want to give to the people that may be listening, or the poets or the young artists or the writers?
Absolutely. To my young people, number one, keep a planner, keep an organizer. Stroll on over to the Dollar General today. It gets you a planner, okay? Write things out. Especially in school, if you have a test that you know is coming up, write them out automatically. In college, part of the main reason of my success was on the first days of syllabus week, write every single test you have out for the entire semester. Keep your stuff on lock, keep your stuff on goals. Write your weekly goals, whether it's personal, whether you want to be a little more patient, whether it's driving, whether it's dealing with your sister, whether it's personal, professional goals. Keep everything written, keep everything focused. Know that social media is not everything as it's meant to be.
For sure.
Know that real interaction in real life is worth more than a social media Instagram story could ever be, will ever be.
Again.
Say that again. Give yourself a digital detox, please, whether it's for a day, whether it's for a week, to really know who you are and know your own mind, because these apps are made on purpose to control you, and that's okay. We just got to realize that it's an addiction and it's real. But anyway, make sure you're spending more time on your hobby and a personal goal each day than you're spending on Instagram. So I like to limit myself to 30 minutes a day on there, because I should never be practicing the piano less than I'm on Instagram. I should never be reading less than I'm on there. You know what I mean? Just like spending time calling my grandmother more than I'm on there. Let's see. Another thing, to my high schoolers, to my young people, find something you think is messed up in the world and put your purpose towards that. So talents plus what you think is messed up, find those two things and find a way that you can make a job out of that, literally, because there's too much messed up stuff going on in this world for anybody to not be doing something to make the world a better place. So if you think gun violence is crazy, and you have a talent of speaking in front of people, find a job that you can end both of those things or use both of those things. If you think the litter on the ground is crazy, do something with that. If you think, you know what I'm saying, just push towards that. Spend time in nature. That's another thing. For our urban communities that have never really got to experience time in a green space, it is healing, and studies show that it lowers your stress levels, that a 10-minute walk in a green space can lower the levels of cortisol in your brain by 30%. So again, that is part of the system trying to keep you down, is that there is no green space in these urban neighborhoods. But that's a whole other podcast that we will go on to another day. And then last but not least, question things. Don't just let jobs and let people and let systems tell you how things should be done. Question how they should be done. Is it really good for humanity, and is it really efficient, and is it really worthwhile? The end.
Man, this is Ms.Bull, super artsy.
Ms.Bull, right on.
Super articulate.
Something like that.
Super awesome.
Something like that.
Poet,
Thank you, sir.
educated, teaching artist, all of that combined into one. You're listening to Ballpoint with Blue Apple Poetry Podcast.
Bow bow. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For sure. All right, bet. All right, we lit.